Hello and welcome to a special edition of today's Air Force. In honor of the kickoff of college football season, we take you to Colorado Springs, Colorado, home of the United States Air Force Academy. The Falcon football team is gearing up for another exciting season, and today's Air Force has gone to training camp to give you an inside look at what it takes to be both a football player and a cadet at one of the most academically demanding institutions in the country. With our story, here's Staff Sergeant Nicholas Kurtz.
The United States Air Force Academy. Since graduating its first class of officers in 1959, tens of thousands of cadets have called this place home. Even so, this remains one of the most selective and challenging institutes of higher learning in the United States. The 4,400 young men and women who make up the cadet wing must demonstrate superior academic achievement, leadership skills, athletic ability, and character. The Academy only accepts the cream of the crop because it has to.
The requirements for the 21st century officer are pretty intense. We've got amazing fast-changing technology. We've got a global, dangerous world. We've got asymmetric threats. We are actually trying to develop thinking skills, responsibility issues, and also knowledge that our young lieutenants are going to be drawing upon and using much sooner than those of us that graduated in previous decades.
Molding future officers who will help maintain America's dominance over air, space, and cyberspace in the decades to come is the Academy's primary purpose. But it's not only about learning jet propulsion or management techniques. Cadets spend just as much time developing their bodies as they do their minds. Each and every cadet competes in intercollegiate or intramural sports in one form or another, whether they're playing against another squadron or in a bowl game on national television.
Every cadet is an athlete, and for all our sports, it's about experiencing competition at the highest levels and learning how to overcome some of the disadvantages that we have. And it's not unlike the challenges we'll face throughout our careers.
And so, it's on the fields of friendly strife where these cadets learn many valuable lessons. But no matter the sport they choose, one field in particular holds special significance for every cadet.
Welcome to Falcon Stadium, home of the United States Air Force Academy football team. Throughout the fall, these stands will be filled with fans cheering for the Falcons as they take on teams from BYU, Utah, and the Naval Academy. And on one special day in the spring, these stands again will be filled as many of those same players take the field one last time to graduate and become commissioned officers in the United States Air Force.
Class of 2010.
But long before they ever get to experience this, they'll need to experience this.
You are now basic cadets. From now on, you will not speak unless spoken to.
This is what sets the Air Force Academy apart from other colleges. There's no special treatment for the highly recruited starting quarterback or wideout here. The focus from day one for every cadet athlete isn't on making it to the pros. It's about making a promise.
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
At a typical Division I college, football players aren't always expected to excel off the field. But the Air Force Academy is in no way a typical college.
It's a unique environment. It takes a special young man to come here, go through 6 weeks of basic training, go through the freshman year, and still every day come down here and work your butt off. You got a kid taking 24 semester hours in things like calculus 2, chemistry, computer science, electrical engineering, getting good grades, but at the same time you got to line up and play Oklahoma, and you got to play BYU and TCU and Utah. So I just think this academy experience for kids that choose to do it, they never regret it. I know I didn't.
We tell all our athletes, don't come out to the Air Force Academy to play basketball, football, volleyball, lacrosse. It doesn't matter. You come here with that goal of serving your country, and they have great fun in their athletic programs, but it's so much more than that. It's about that commitment to serve. It's about achieving excellence in every mission element, academics, military, and athletics. And at the same time, we want them to develop socially, to become responsible, positive thinking citizens, and they do all that. It's just incredible to watch these young people develop.
Coach Charlton Warren has had a big hand in that development. As the school's recruiting advisor, he has the tough task of finding some of the nation's top student athletes who are willing to accept the Air Force Academy challenge.
I'm going to look at a transcript before I look at a 40 time. It's just, for us, we have to. We need kids with a 3.2 GPA and above. If he's a 2.5 but can run really fast, nope, doesn't matter. We can't recruit that kid. So you're looking for a very select and elite group of young men. They got to be very, very well-rounded in the classroom, upper 10% of their class, great SAT scores. But at the same time, you're looking for guys that can play football and compete in the Mountain West Conference. Well, that's probably what everybody in the country is looking for.
All eyes on me.
But we also need that intangible of leadership. Because when a kid comes here, that's what he's going to be faced with from the get-go. Can he be a leader?
Accept our challenge.
For Coach Warren, finding the kids who have what it takes is the hard part. But when he's talking to the right ones, the school practically sells itself.
You talk about, one, the quality of education. Being one of the top institutions in America, having a great foundation for academics has to appeal to those bright kids. Two, the chance to play at the highest level of football, the Mountain West Conference, playing great non-conference opponents, a chance to go to bowl games, all the things that young kids dream of when they want to play at the next level. But then you talk about the guaranteed job in a great profession once they graduate, the responsibility to be an officer in the Air Force and go serve your country and do something. And so that's a good package to sell to a young man.
In spite of the recruiting challenges, the Falcons have managed to stay competitive at the highest level of college football. Since 1956, the Falcons have appeared in 20 bowl games, most recently winning the 2009 Armed Forces Bowl. They've won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy a record 16 times, nearly as many as the Army and Navy's combined 18 wins. 15 Falcons have gone on to play in the NFL. But what drives this team is not accolades or individual accomplishments. The players know they're out there representing not just their college, but their country as well.
When we bring the entire community together, we bring graduates in every week for reunions, and we bring a whole cadet wing with all the splendor and the flybys and the parachute team jumping in and some pretty darn good football. It helps to rally the community around our focus, and that is to play hard and to treat our opponents with all the respect in the world, but play to win every single week.
Whether they're having a good season or not, the Falcons can count on having a decent-sized crowd on hand, since all cadets are required to attend every home game. They don't seem to mind it too much, though.
The football program brings spirit to any university, and when the team's winning, there's just a sense of joy in the air. As a behavioral scientist, I know that it's really the crowd that actually helps the team win, and so that spirit when you're winning really carries the team through an amazing season. So the football team is central, I think, to most universities, and I think for our Air Force and our deployed airmen, it lifts their spirits as well.
And that, more than the roar of the crowd or the chance to be on SportsCenter, is what motivates these players to perform.
I think the kids that play here, when they step on that field, they just swell up with pride, and that's why they play the way they do. They know there's guys overseas in the desert who can't be here and enjoy sitting in a packed stadium rooting for those guys, staying up to 3, 4 in the morning to watch us play a bowl game. They know they're doing something for more than just themselves out there. They have a whole service of people following them and depending on them to give them motivation and give them some enthusiasm no matter where they are in the world.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to a few of the Falcons and give you a look at what life is like for these cadet athletes, both on and off the field.